Hello everyone, welcome to this video. If you're following the last video, we have worked a lot on the Azure uh, recovery services, and we have created whole recovery services vault and spent a lot of time on replication of virtual machines and networks to a completely different region. In this video, we'll focus on the backups. If you go to our recovery in our Azure and go to the recovery services vault that we have created in the last lab, if you go there, okay, here under getting started you have both backup and site recovery. Both kind of does the same thing, but site recovery is more about if something happens to your uh, primary location, you need immediate failover to another location, you go with this one. Backup is more granular. So if you need like somebody deleted a file from your system, you need to back up that. So all of that you can do it from this backup blade. And again, I don't have any backup items in here, but for the replicated items, I do have those some virtual machines where we did some work in the last video. But either it's backup or it's disaster recovery or your replication, you come and you use this recovery services vault. That's a nice thing. It's all unified, and the process is kind of the same. You either create a backup policy, or for recovery plans you create a recovery plans, okay, and then you go from there. I didn't explore this backup infrastructure or the site recovery infrastructure that much. But let's go back to this one. This one is from the Azure documentation. If you go and search for the protect your virtual machines using Azure backup, you should get that. Really, where what they're doing in here, they're creating a resource group, okay, and then in this resource group they're deploying some machines, or creating the network for the virtual network, and then creating a Windows virtual machine using CLI. So we can run this command really easy. So let's go to our Azure instance. Let's see if we can do what the lab is asking us to do. Alright, so if you click on it, it should give you either the cloud shell or the bash. Bash is what we want, so I am happy with this one. Alright, so here paste, and if you look at that command, it's gonna create a variable called R group, and it's gonna create a easy group create, and name of the group is gonna be VM backups. It's gonna be deployed in the West US2, and you will see the output in a table format, okay, and we're only interested in the name, so let's the name will be stored in this particular variable. So if we hit enter, it should create a resource group itself. And if you once this command is done, you can do echo on $r group, and there we go, that's the resource group. And now if you go to the resource group, you should be able to see that you have a resource group by that name. It may take just a minute to show up, so just refresh couple times. If it does not show up in there, or just give it a minute, and it will show up. Yeah, there we go, it will show up here. So just give it a 15 seconds to 30 seconds max, it will show up. So we got our resource group. So if you see the next comment that we're gonna create the virtual network, and we're gonna pass the resource group that we have created. Okay, now we're gonna define a name for this virtual network. We're gonna call that Northwind internal. We are providing address prefix for that one, and we're creating a subnet called Northwind internal 1, and it's going to use a portion of the larger address space, which is /16. We're going to use 255 IPs from there and create this particular subnet. So let's copy this one. Excuse me. Let's come up over here, paste the command. So this is a pretty easy command to understand. So this is going to create the virtual network by this name, okay, inside this particular resource group, and it's all done. So what you can do, you can come over here, click on this resource group, and you should be able to see that particular virtual network in there. And again, if you do not see anything and it says no deployment, that it's not right. So we just deployed something, and there we go. So not when internal, that network is created. If you go to this event, to the network, you should see a virtual subnet. So if you go to subnet, you should see that subnet 1, and it's got 10.0.0/14 with 251 available IP addresses for you. Okay, so now we have got a resource group and the virtual network and also the subnet. So let's come back over here. So now you can create a Windows virtual machine. So let's go back over there and paste the command, and let's study this just a minute. So azvm create, it's like any other command. Previously you did what? Az network vnet create. Okay, then az group create. Look at the similarity of the command. Pretty much you are creating something. So create is the verb, and whatever you want to create, you are doing az whatever create. Okay, so this time we are creating azvm create. Again, you are providing the resource group. This is the name we want, nw app01. Size you are providing, you're saying okay, give me a ds1 v2. Virtual network name we are providing, this is the virtual network that we have created. Subnet we are saying here is the subnet that again this we have created already. You are defining an image, and we want Windows 2016 data center for this. You are providing admin username 123 and admin password. You see it's nothing in there, so we need to provide admin password most likely. So go over there and over here, and yeah, replace that with a password of your choice. So let's come up with a password. Okay, so let's maybe do PA55 WORD W.RD 1234. How about that? So let's copy this, come back to our Azure, and let's paste it right there. So that is going to be our password. Okay, now hit enter. So that will start deploying our virtual machine. And the no wait means although you got your CLI back, the deployment is actually not done. It's just going on as a background job. Okay, so you can do the same thing for a Linux machine, and we can while the Windows deployment is going on, you can also deploy a Linux machine. And again, azvm create, same resource group, and this time you are calling it nwrel. Okay, so that's telling me it's Red Hat Linux. Again, it's using ds1 v2 image, Red Hat rel 7 raw latest. Authentication type SSH, so they're not gonna use our regular key password based authentication. We're gonna use SSH keys. Here is the name, here is the subnet, it's the same subnet. So click enter. It may ask you to, yeah, so it says the SSH key file have been generated under this to allow SSH access to, if using machines without permanent storage, backup your keys to safe location. So this is what you need. You cannot lose these files. Let's see if they have said anything about it. Okay, so they haven't, probably we don't need to log into the machine, so they're not too much worried about the SSH. But if you do not have the SSH files, okay, then you are in trouble. So you will not be able to get into the virtual machine. So enable backup for virtual machine using Azure portal. So how do you do that? It's really simple. If you're deploying a virtual machine, you can actually enable backup at the time of deployment of a virtual machine itself. But what we're gonna do, we're gonna come here and just search for virtual machines and see how many virtual machines we got at this time. I should be cleaning up some of the resources that I have. Maybe today I'll clean up. So looks like the app 1 and this one is running, and the rail one is getting created. Okay, so we can go to this particular virtual machine, and it's if you come down here under operations, you have the backup. So you can click on it and it's gonna give you all the option. All you need to select, you are going to use a recovery services fault. You can use an existing one or create a new recovery services fault if you like. If you select existing, okay, another thing, your recovery services fault has to be in the same resource group uh, where and then the same region where you have your virtual machines located. So you click on this, create new, and this is a resource group, VM backups, and this is the policy. Okay, let's read what they're saying. So they are saying that we go to the rail virtual machine, create new, and enter Azure backup for the name. So they want to create a backup for Azure backup. Resource group is the VM backup resource group that we have created earlier. Okay, so again, so it has that that your vault has to be in that same resource group. Choose a backup policy, and daily policy is good. No, we don't have to worry about this too much. So again, we are within the window, so let's to follow with them. So let's come back to the rail, and from here we're gonna say create new, and we're gonna use this name Azure backup as the vault name. Resource group is the same, daily policy is fine, and what they're saying, change this, okay, daily policy to something else. So you can click on the daily policy, it will open up, and instead of 4:30, and they want us to use what, daily backup at 12 p.m. UTC. So all it's need to do UTC is fine, so 12 p.m. is what you need to choose. Where is 12 p.m.? Excuse me. And a retention range of 30 days. So I don't have an exact 12 p.m. so I'll just go with 11:30. And retention recovery snapshot, they ask us to change it to 30 days. It's giving me trouble. The latest snapshot is only the instance stored in the point available. It will retain until the next successful backup. Alright, so this is actually, I don't need to change anything. This is where the retention daily backup, this is already set at 180. Okay, so everything else I'm not gonna change anything. I'm just gonna say okay. So that and then you just click on enable backup, and that will enable the backup for the machine. Okay, you can also enable backup using the CLI. Okay, so all you need to do is run this particular command. Okay, so if we want to use enable the backup for this Windows machine, we can copy this particular command. Okay, again come back over there, and in here we can let's see, we can paste this command. Again, look at what it's doing. AZ backup protection enable for VM. In this resource group, vault name Azure backup, which we created just in from the UI. This is the Windows machine, and policy name default policy. Okay, if I hit enter right here, did I click enter? Yeah, I think I did. It may be changed. Okay, that's fine. So it's creating and enabling backup for you. So that's another way that you can create the backup, right? So this is another command that we have used. So let's see what to monitor the progress of the setup. So monitor, you can run this command Azure backup job list directly to monitor the command. It's not here, or what you can do, you can go to possibly go to our vault, recovery services vault, under monitor, Acer vault. Okay, and then here what we want to know, monitor backup jobs. Okay, click on backup jobs and it should tell you what is going on with those backup jobs, and it says nothing has started yet. So just click enable. So I still do not have anything going on in there. So let's see, what is this? So keep running the predicting command until you see the configuration backup is finished. So excuse me. So looks like this command might give you some more information about the backup. Let's look at backup alerts. So if I have anything anywhere, I do not see anything anywhere. Okay, backup policies, two backup policies. Default policy is what we have created. Then go back. No, sorry. Azure backup is what we use, right? So backup jobs. There we go. Yeah. Now that makes more sense, right? So I was trying to use a wrong vault. So this is the vault that we created, and we created the backup jobs, and you see the backup jobs logs are showing up over here. So the same thing what they're saying, you can run this command, and you gotta keep running it until you see that all of them is converted to completed, which we see over here. They're all completed. Okay. So do an initial backup virtual machine instead of waiting for the schedule to run. So what they're saying, you can do this using this CLI. So let's put that over here as well. So you can do that running the CLI, or what you can do over here, backup items. Let's go there. It says Azure virtual machines. You click on that. So what you see that your backup pre-check has passed, but last backup status is in warning state. So initial backup is pending. So if you don't want to wait for the daily job to start, to kickstart this backup, so you can come and say, hey, backup now. Okay, so you can manually start backup for the virtual machine. So retain backup until, and you say okay. So it will force the backup process for you. If not, it will, based on the default policy for backup, whatever time you set, it will kickstart the backup process. So we have learned that, and monitor backup in the portal. So we have already kind of looked at it. So we can again go back over here. Since we started backup on one of those machines, let's come back. Maybe we can take a look at on them. So we have started the backup in one of them. Let's maybe refresh it. Says initial backup pending. So let's kickstart this one as well. So let's say backup now. So triggering backup for this one as well. So both machines backup we have kickstarted now. So what they're saying, you can go, and in here you can go to the monitoring again, and you can go and take a look at the backup job. Okay, and it should tell you what is going on with the backup. So we have started, so they are in progress. When the backups are done, the status would change to a passed and success field. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to know. View the status of the recovery services vault. Overview would also tell you what you have. So from here you can, if you go back to the overview page, their backup, there we go. So here backup items is 2, and it's gonna also tell you the monitoring, if you have any alerts, pre-check status, backup storage, and all kinds of stuff. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of idea how to back up your virtual machine, how to enable it, how to create your policy. In the next unit we're gonna cover the restore the virtual machine. So for this lab, I think that's all I wanted to cover. So good luck if you're studying for the 300 exam. Just practice backup, practice replication until you're comfortable. Good luck with the exam.